Hello everyone, doing some more dueling with the jar deck, opening up with a pretty dirty hand since getting Worm Links plus Ygopro is potentially a whole lot of draw power. Opponent's using a pretty interesting deck. Not sure what Gale Dogma even implies. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and ditch Karaz for this. Blue Eye? Okay, so it's gonna be some sort of a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon thing. Let's see what he does with that. I'm not sure if you can reborn that from the grave or anything to that extent. Okay, not a Blue Eyes deck over. What is he doing with this? I've seen some builds with Dogma where they send some peculiar stuff to the grave and do some really weird things with it. Of course, I've only seen that on very rare occasions. Okay, I would like to use Storm, but I'm gonna go ahead and save it because I want him to have at least one more face-up card, and I'm not gonna set the Fiendish Chain. Like I said, I do plan on using Storm as soon as he has another face-up card, or just another target in general, because Wild Tornado needs to target a face-up anything on the field, and then Abyss Scorn just needs a monster. Okay, so he's not even gonna attack. That's fine by me. I save my Ygopro for the next turn. Gift card. Okay, so this might be a self-destruct button deck. That's exactly what it's going to be. Okay. That's all he was doing was, yay, drew the game. We're going to get another double now. Who even does this online? There's no point. This isn't even ranked. Why would you do such a thing? I bet self-destruct button decks are really, really boring after not long. Opening up with not as dirty as a hand, but still good. Double Morphing Jar and a Marshmallow, along with a Crane, and since I have double Morphing Jar number 2, I already have the setup for this if I want to go into something like the Spirit XYZ, so I can start getting out Dandelion. And going up against a Harpy deck. Harpy decks have a very mixed matchup against this because their field spell might end up hurting them, since they'll pop stuff that destroys their own cards instead of just getting rid of something. But unfortunately for me, I didn't draw any, so if he tries to use a field effect right now, I'll be in a bad position. Let's see, drawing Morphing Jar. I'm kind of tempted to use that, but it wouldn't really give me any advantage. Kind of want to, kind of don't. Let's see, if I give him... Okay, I don't think this would work with a face-down Harpy. I don't know what his face-down could be. You know what? No, I kind of want one of those to send the field. Tricky. I'm gonna go ahead and... No, you know what? I'm gonna do it and set up some plays. Hopefully I can stop an attack from hitting Morphing Jar. And then I'll just wait for the right opportunity, because right now this hand isn't it's not very good. Luckily he's not summoning Harpies. Okay, there we go, getting an Abyss Scorn. Actually, it's kind of a good thing that I drew it right now, because now this is the newest card in my field. He'll be tempted to hit this one before anything else. I'm gonna go ahead and set the Marshmallow. I'm gonna wait as long as I can before using Morphing Jar, because he's been setting as many cards as I have, or they have. I always say he because, you know, there's no girls on the internet, right? Try saying they from now on. Okay, cool. Drawing into lots of spells and traps. That's what I like to see with a Morphing Jar on the field. Sadly, yeah, I'm gonna Morphing Jar. Well, the Morphing Jarring is good. So I don't really care if I'm losing a Crane. There's 2 others plus a Karaz, and I haven't even normal summoned this turn. Let's see if he has something to negate this. Maybe he has a Solemn or a... Nope, nothing. I was going to say Solemn or a Veiler. Cool. Looks like he's using some of the new Harpy cards. Drawing a lot more spells and traps. Now... do I really want 3 monsters going back to my deck? That's a lot of milling. I kind of want to use Morphing Jar, but I also kind of don't. Let's see. No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it for now. And also going to set a Dark Coffin. And I'm even more curious as to what his face down could be. He hasn't used it, so it's probably a floater or something. I very much doubt it's a flip effect. Oh, it's just a Harpy Queen. Actually, probably good that I attacked that. Does this work with flip summons? Okay, no, he, if he had wanted to use, Hunting Grounds effect with Harpy Queen, he would have had to summon it. But at least now I know what it is. I'm not sure why he would be saying that. It has a nice amount of attack. Maybe he's scared of my back row for some reason, even though he has no reason to be. So I'm gonna let this... Okay, now he's gonna be using that. Let's see if he hits one of my newer ones. Yep, hitting Dark Coffin, that's... Hopefully this will make him fearful of targeting my other back row. I mean, there is one. And let's see what he chooses to do, if he wants to discard a card or destroy a monster on his field. Gonna discard. Let's see, he might have that, what is it? It's not Hysteric Sign. No, that's... I don't remember what their spell card is. It's the one that when it goes to the grave, they get to add 3 Harpies to their hand during the end phase, or was it 4? He's showing how familiar I am with Harpies, even though I am pretty familiar. I'm actually going to Mirror Force this. Harpy Dancer is an incredibly good card. So let's get rid of this. It would allow him to start popping the rest of my back row, and he's going to Dark Bribe. I guess that's an okay move. Yeah, okay. Just to save these two, that's fine. Drawing into another Lynx. Okay, so now I'm going to flip this. I have another Ygopro, and I would like to start drawing cards. Sadly, I haven't drawn any more Cranes or Karazes. He could have the... It's the track card where you destroy a Winged Beast and then 2 of your opponent's cards. I wouldn't really mind that at this point. That's the kind of cool thing about this deck, is that nothing really holds too much value on its own. They're just a bunch of little cards that they gain power as you kind of combine them and stack them up. So hitting just one card here and there isn't a big deal to me. Although, I would rather he not attack Morphing Jar. Okay. Now, I have a Ygopro. I'm going to go ahead and set a bottomless in case he summons something big. So even if he tries to use this effect, I'll just chain it. And then if he hits this, obviously, I am perfectly okay with him hitting either Abyss. And now, let's let the cruel cycle of drawing cards begin, assuming that he doesn't try to get rid of Lynx. It wouldn't even be that bad of an idea to not get rid of it at this point. I already have so many cards, it hardly matters. Yep, hitting the Abyss Scorn, I'm completely fine with that. Going to hit a Harpy Dancer, I don't like this card, I want to get rid of it, even though he has another. And I don't really care about just an average amount of attack like 2100, that's nothing good, that's not hard to deal with. Now, he'll probably try to attack in the Lynx, in which case I'll Ygopro, and then he won't be going from other face downs. At least that's what most players do. I'd be very surprised if he did. He could potentially have another Dark Bribe, but like I said, I really wouldn't care. I don't need Lynx's advantage at the moment, not horribly anyways. So even if he were to get rid of it, I would, with a Dark Bribe, it would give me more advantage, honestly, so who cares? And he's not returning Dancer to his hand. He really shouldn't be keeping these out in the field. It's a pretty vital card. He should be wanting to keep it. Okay, drawing... Let's see, Pot of Duplicity. So I'll be able to recycle my Crane soon. I just need one more type of monster, which could be Lynx, or it could be Marshmallow. Not sure what I want to set. Not sure I want to set anything at all, actually. I'm just gonna set the Ygopro. I don't want to fill up my field right now because I still have a Morphing Jar down, and I'd rather not be sending too many monsters back to my deck. The monster spell and trap ratio it's not that out of whack, but there are still more spells and traps than monsters. Okay, so he's going to pop another, and I'm going to bottomless this one. Oh, you know what? He targeted Abyss Score. No, I'm not going to bottomless. Looks like he's not abusing Harpy's effect, or he's not abusing Dancer, so I'm just going to get rid of Channeler while I have the chance. So he's been getting incredibly unlucky with what he's been targeting. Although, like I said, the way I've been setting cards, it's been kind of influencing him to target the ones I want him to. Since these have been sitting on the field for a while now, so he doesn't really see them as a threat. So he's obviously going to go after the new ones, and every single time so far, it is just blown up in his face. Okay, now the question is, I'm going to bottomless this right now. I don't want him to discard a Hysteric Sign. Let's see what he targets now. 2 of these are chainable. Aw, sadly not hitting the one I wanted him to, but I'm still going to get to bottomless it. I wish he didn't get rid of the Fiendish Chain. Oh well. I guess 1 out of, what was that, the 4th time? 1 out of 4 isn't too bad. Or 3 out of 4 for me, 1 out of 4 was good for him. Okay, so he's gonna attack Lynx. I'm gonna let this go through. By all means, I don't need more draws, and I also want that 3rd card in my grave. So I'm gonna save the Waboku, and I'm gonna let this go through too. That's... yeah, let's get rid of your monsters. I'll get 1 back. Even if I don't get a good one, I have Marshmallow in hand still. Oh, okay, Absorb Jar, beautiful. So now I can get rid of his set cards, even though I don't really want to. He actually got really good cards with that. What was that? Dancer and Monk? Yeah. Or Channeler and Monk. So he'll be looking to use probably both of those effects. Let's see, do I even have to let him? I could potentially... I could potentially Karaz both of them, but I don't much want to. Let's see. So I have Absorb Jar, but if I use this thing's effect right now, I won't be able to draw cards. Ooh, okay, so let's Pot of Duplicity. Let's see, Pack Crane Crane, Morphing Jar, and a Lynx. See if I can draw into something good, or maybe I can draw into... okay, there we go. I drew into a Crane Crane, so while I can't attack, there are other things I can do. Like, I could go into Alucard right now. That wouldn't be a bad idea. See, I did leave... yeah. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into Alucard. I'm bound to draw into more Crane Cranes now, and I still have my Karaz for extra advantage. And this way, I'm going to be able to get rid of his monsters before he can use the effects. Although I'm kind of questioning if he knows what he's doing at this point. No, something else I could do is I could flip Absorb Jar. I could destroy all of these, forcing him to, if he wants to destroy anything... let's see, you know what, I think I'm going to do that. With Boku, I have an extra, I don't need it at the moment. So I'm going to destroy all of his back row and his monsters. And yeah, I'll draw a card off of Boku. Cool. There's the other Crane Crane. I'm not going to get rid of all of his monsters. I can't attack this turn, but... let's see. I'm going to leave Morphing Jar number 2 on the field just because it's slightly stronger. So let's go ahead and sync with these two. Then I'll use its effect, and I kind of hope that I hit the Channeler. Okay, good. Now, I can't set this turn, sadly. So I can't set the Waboku and Wild Tornado. But I'm going to get rid of the Lynx because I no longer need them. We've both gone through a considered amount of cards, and I have 2 cards for attacking with now. Alright, by using Duality, he's not going to be able to special summon this turn, so he could potentially get over Alucard, but let's see if he actually will. And let's see if this is... I think it's a Hysteric Sign. Has he discarded one yet? No, if he had discarded one, he would get the effect. Okay, I'm just going to call it Hysteric Sign, the one that searches all their cards at the end phase. If it is a Hysteric Sign, he'll be able to pop it with Hunting Ground, and that would be really good for him. But if he doesn't have other spells and traps, he'll actually end up having to discard from that. So let's see what he's going to go into, or maybe he seems not that experienced with this deck. For example, he wasn't putting back Dancer when he easily could have. It would have given him a lot of advantage. Okay, he's not going to do any of that. I don't think his spell or trap is anything. I know this is a Summoner Monk. So I know Summoner Monk is 1800. Okay, I'm going to hit the Summoner Monk because I can't get over it currently. Yeah. And I could potentially summon Karaz and I could start popping his stuff, but I actually want him to hit Wild Tornado with Hunting Ground. That would give me advantage during his turn. Let's see, if I go into my next Crane, what would I be going into? Spirit of the Forest wouldn't be bad. I can go into my Engineer and go for some stall power, assuming I even need that. He hasn't really been destroying my cards, so what should I go into? I'm not sure what XYZ I want to go into that's at this point. He's been playing in a very, let's see, what's the term? A very held back fashion. He hasn't been really using his cards to do any damage to me. He's just been letting a lot of stuff be. So I'm going to go into Tree Spirit. This way I can set up my Karaz plays for next turn, because since he hasn't really been fighting back, I'm feeling pretty good about making a push. And that was a Solemn anyway, so I don't care. And I'm going to go ahead and set my back row right now, just in case it's some sort of a troll card, even though it's probably not a great idea to do that. It is a Harpies deck, so I don't care. And since I'm able to set my back row now, I can feel free to keep this in attack and do a little bit of damage and just start poking. So next turn, it's looking like Karaz is going to be a good idea. Okay, here we go. I have two good targets for him to hit. There's one of them, so I can go ahead and chain Safe Zone, target his Dancer, and then since Safe Zone gets destroyed, so does his monster. And this is that mixed part of the matchup with Harpies where they don't have a fun time, because all of my back row end up just hurting them, even when they pop it. I like it. It's pretty funny. Okay, if I summon Karaz, he won't be able to attack either way, so I'm just going to poke. See if I can... Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be able to do some more damage. Just face down clearly isn't anything good. It's probably that Hysteric Sign, which I would suggest to him. He probably should be destroying if that's what it is. And you know what? I could use some more draw power. I'm not going to do the Karaz just yet. Yeah, I'm just going to flip up another Lynx. This card usually doesn't do a whole lot of work in the end game or even mid game of a duel. It's really just good during the early game when it goes off, because after early game having it go off, there's so much potential. There's so much. Okay, he's gonna try it with Boku. This one's chainable, so not really a great hit, but I can just chain it. So now he can't attack. It's probably kind of aggravating for him. But Lynx, after it draws a certain amount of cards, you don't need it anymore. Even when you draw into it, it's like, huh, well, I already have such stupid card advantage that there's no reason for me to really keep this. And I'm not going to be special summoning this turn, so let's go ahead and Duality. You know, it would be funny, if I went into a Levier, I would actually get his field effect if I brought back Channeler. And Dualitying into another Wild Tornado. At this point, he probably knows not to touch this, so I'm going to make him go for the other Wild Tornado and see if he falls for that. I actually could channel it right now. Do that. I can then pop that. No, I don't want to pop that. I want to just pop this. I'm not even... Let's see. I'm going to keep the Marshmallow. Yeah, I'm going to summon Absorb Jar. This card isn't useful to me right now. Alright, I Dualitied right after I said that. Oh, no. Torrential. Oh, that sucks. That was actually a good way to even things up. But, sadly for him, he has no good plays right now, because even if he summons a Harpy and pops something, either he'll... His best choice would actually be his own field card. It's actually really hurting him right now. Throwing into another Marshmallow, though, so I can stall him out for a while. That was a really unfortunate Torrential. He's playing in a really weird way, so he's being really hard to read. And I think that's kind of... People don't really value that as much as they should. When players are amateurs, they make really weird moves, and that actually throws off all the experts and pros. Like, they don't... I don't want to toot my own horn and call myself a pro or anything, but... So I won't, but people that they underestimate amateurs, it really throws them off game-wise. They don't know what to expect or do, and they end up misplaying their cards. Ooh, okay, here's a good draw. I'm actually going to do something I don't usually do, and I'm going to go on the offense with double Marshmallow. So I'm going to go ahead and... see, would this be worth it? I could tribute a Marshmallow. No, I'm going to go the Karaz route and not try to win this turn, even though I probably could. I'm just going to keep being cautious because this guy has nothing anyway, so I don't really have much to lose. I'm going to destroy both my Wild Tornadoes. Draw cards, yes. And then Wild Tornado will pop his field, and it'll pop his monster. So Karaz doing its job. It draws cards and destroys cards at the same time. So as you can see, we're back up to even card count, even though he torrentialed me really hard. And let's see if he attacks into the other Marshmallow just to do another 1k. Looks like he is. Yeah, ooh, shouldn't have attacked that. That'll hurt ya. So it looks like this duel is kind of coming to a conclusion, though. I should be able to win now. And I'm not even going to try to storm this. I still know that it's nothing. I'm going to go ahead and make the mech monster, just in case he's holding off really hard and saving a Mirror Force or something. So even if he does, I won't lose all my monsters. So let's see if I can pull off game with this. So do you have something? It's asking him the chain. Magic Cylinder. Huh, wow. He waited so long to use that. I am impressed. But I don't know if he can get over both of these, because he does need to. Kind of funny drawing into a Morphing Jar this late in the game. We're down to like nothing in our decks, so I wonder if he's still using Harpie's Pet Dragon, and he hasn't drawn into it yet or gotten the chance to use it because I've been removing his channelers almost as quickly as he can summon them. So let's see if he does that. Oh, he had it in his hand, okay. Now, depending on what he makes, I will chain Engineer's Effect, and I'll keep a monster on the field regardless of what happens. Looks like he's going to be making... oh, he could actually make the... I don't even remember what it's called. It's the triple level 4, the rank 4, that it is a Harpy Dragon. Or it has the baby dragon in the picture. That it has some pretty crazy effects as long as it has material. Let's see if he makes that. It would... I think it can... yeah, it can attack directly, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. That would actually kind of put a lot of pressure on me. Looks like he's going to. Showed all three. Making Aurora Boros, he probably should have made the Harpy XYZ. That would have been a better idea in this position. So he's going to return something to my hand. Okay. He'll probably target this. In which case, I will be chaining its effect. I'm going to get Dandelion anyways. So it doesn't matter if I detach it now or... yeah, or just let it go to the grave. So now he can't attack over this, which he probably wants to. But he will be able to hit a fluff token, or he won't recognize what the card I just activated does and go for the wrong monster. I'm okay with this. Even though it doesn't matter, I don't need the fluff tokens. Even if I were to draw into another Karaz, I would still have a token left over, or another Karaz tribute. And unfortunately for him, drawing my final Wild Tornado. So I'm just going to be able to destroy this, even though he doesn't have any spells or traps, and then destroy his Aurora Boros. And then all I have to do is put Karaz to attack and go for game. I don't think he's running any hand traps. No, he's not. So that's game. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, rate, subscribe, and stay brutal.